Former NFL linebacker Coy Wire. Coy played 9 seasons in the NFL, Falcons, Bills as well. So, well, let's get your take as we get the ball rolling here. We got some calls lined up already. 1-877-TEL-HLN's the number. What do you make of Tim Tebow? Do you find him an inspiring figure? Are you tired of hearing about him? Where do you fall?
I can't get enough of him, nor do I think the youth in our society can get enough of someone like Tim Tebow. Great character. It's not about street cred, it's about character. You know, I'll take a crew with character over a crew with credentials any day of the week. Case in point, Philadelphia Eagles. They had the superstar lineup, the Pro Bowlers, the Super Bowlers, but, you know, they ended up flushing their dreams down the toilet bowl because they didn't have a true respected leader, a guy like Tim Tebow who could be a foundation for them, who could keep them centered and grounded and keep their eyes on the prize, focus on the right direction and keep them moving in the right direction.
Good point, you know, and why do you think, and again, we can argue about his quarterbacking ability, and I'm sure a call or two we might get that, but Tim Tebow, the man, I don't think there's anything to argue with. And Rick Riley had a great article talking about that. He was looking for things. Couldn't find anything when you get into Tim Tebow just loving on and investing people before and after games, win or lose.
Great point. You know, when you have a true leader, it doesn't matter if you throw the perfect pass at the perfect time or to the perfect person. It doesn't matter if you devise the perfect business plan or sign off on all the correct policies. When you're a true leader, people respond to your way. They don't respond to your play. So a guy like Tim Tebow is what you need if you want to take a group of mundane men and make them mighty men. And that's what you're seeing with Tim Tebow, the Tim Tebow phenomena of elevating the consciousness and the level of play of those around him.
All right, here, let's get this is some Facebook comments, both pro and con. Let's see, Stacy says, I love Tim Tebow's young quarterback. He's doing big things already. I believe Tebow. Other side, Craig says, honestly, I'm kind of tired of hearing about him and his prayers for skill. Let's go to the phones. Jerry's with us, Kentucky. Jerry, what do you think of Tim Tebow?
I think he's one of the most misunderstood quarterbacks out there. If more NFL players was like him, football would be more fun to watch because he's more about the love of the sport instead of the money of the sport.
So pro Tim Tebow there. What do you make, again, and we were just talking about this in the break, I want to get your take on that, when you talk about people that he just angers them to some degree. Charles Barkley even said, and let's listen to Charles Barkley. You know, Charles, very outspoken, very entertaining guy, great basketball player back in the day. It's a radio interview basically dubbing Tim Tebow a national nightmare. I found that interesting. But let's listen. This is Charles Barkley.
The national nightmare continues. Hey, listen, I like Tim Tebow, but there comes a point. Listen, quit making. He had a great game. He's supposed to have a great game. They want to make it seem like, oh, the world is aligned correct. I'm like, you know, he does play quarterback. He's supposed to play well.
What do you make of that comment from Charles Barkley? Again, this was after they beat Pittsburgh and Tim Tebow played great.
You know, it doesn't surprise me. If I'm not mistaken, Charles Barkley is the guy who said, I'm not a role model. I think that's ridiculous. You may not consider yourself a role model, but you are playing a role in modeling the life of the young child who's looking up to you as their mentor. You have a guy in Tim Tebow who stands for everything that is pure and just and right. And that's what we need in pro sports. We need people who understand the power that they possess to change their lives and create positive change in the world. So to have someone like Tim Tebow finally doing this for our society and in sport and the culture of sports, which, as we know in this country, is a huge part of our society, I think it's a wonderful thing to have someone like him and stand for what he stands.
No, and there's a selflessness about Tim Tebow that I think is equal parts encouraging and convicting to many of us. You know, it's something we all aspire to be, and maybe we're not always like that. So good talking to you.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
You as well.
Thanks again
Thanks.
so much. As the